Hello friends! Alabama has pulled off a major turnaround in recruiting, did you see? No one expected it. Before the news, subscribe to the channel. In a move that is sure to get fans even more excited, head coach Kalen DeBoer and his staff have secured the commitment of Ivan Taylor, a four-star safety who was originally committed to Michigan. Taylor, an extremely talented athlete from Winter Garden, Florida, announced his decision with a succinct but convincing statement: "I am thrilled to announce my commitment to the University of Alabama. I am blessed for the opportunity and look forward to playing for Coach DeBoer and his staff." Roll Tide! These words not only reaffirm the strength of the Alabama brand, but also signal the impact that Coach DeBoer is already having on recruiting. The young defensive back arrives with impressive credentials. Rated as the number 7 safety and number 59 overall prospect in the 2025 class, Taylor is not just another piece of the Crimson Tide puzzle, but a player with pedigree and potential to make an immediate impact. He brings with him not only talent, but also a storied football heritage. His father, Ike Taylor, is an NFL legend, having played a decade for the Pittsburgh Steelers and won 2 Super Bowls. His knowledge and winning mentality are certainly values that are passed down through the generations, something Alabama fans can expect to see reflected on the field. Taylor's decision to commit to Alabama is yet another example of the program strategically positioning itself on the national stage. This move puts the Crimson Tide at 21 prospects for 2025, further solidifying a class that is already widely considered one of the best in the country. He is the 5th highest-rated prospect in the group, trailing only stars such as Keelan Russell, Michael Carroll, Dijon Lee and Ty Haywood. This class is loaded with talent at every key position, and DeBoer's work in attracting and securing these commitments speaks to his ability to build balanced and competitive teams. With the addition of Taylor, Alabama's defense of the future gains even more depth and versatility. He joins Dijon Lee and Chuck McDonald, forming a promising defensive core. For a program that has always had a tradition of producing great defenders, this recruiting class promises continuity and improvement. The Crimson Tide is not only replenishing its roster, but also molding a defense that can once again dominate the field, as it has done so many times in the past. In addition, DeBoer's impact as a leader and strategist is beginning to show. In a short time, he has managed to not only keep Alabama on top, but also attract talent that could very well opt for other elite programs. This speaks volumes about his vision and ability to sell the Crimson Tide as the ideal place for young athletes who dream of shining at the highest level. Taylor's move also reflects how attractive the Alabama program remains, even in the face of stiff competition from other college football giants. Michigan, for example, has long been a traditional destination for high-caliber defensive backs, but the Crimson Tide's appeal and track record of developing NFL talent clearly made the difference here. As we look ahead to next season, Taylor's commitment is yet another reason for Alabama fans to remain confident. Every piece added to this recruiting class strengthens the foundation for a bright future. The combination of tradition, DeBoer's leadership, and the ability to attract the best talent in the country makes the Crimson Tide an unstoppable force. That's a good thing, because while some recruits have left, it's good to see new ones coming in. The future of the program under Kalen DeBoer looks brighter than ever. With 3 straight wins and an 8-2 record, this is a team that has reinvented itself, demonstrating resilience, focus and the winning spirit that is a Tuscaloosa trademark. The journey to this point has been full of ups and downs, but perhaps no story is more iconic than that of Jalen Milroe. The quarterback, who started the year facing criticism and immense pressure, found redemption with impressive performances, especially against LSU and, most recently, Mercer. The offseason seemed to do wonders for Milroe, who showed renewed calm and leadership on the field. However, with the NFL draft on the horizon, the Crimson Tide are about to say goodbye to this talented QB. But in Alabama, the idea is simple: next man up. And fans can rest assured that Coach Kalen DeBoer is already grooming the next generation of leaders on offense. During the win over Mercer, Three quarterbacks emerged as the natural heirs to the throne: Ty Simpson, Dylan Lonergan, and Austin Mack. Each brought something unique to the field, giving the team and the fans a preview of what is to come. Ty Simpson was the first to show his worth, throwing for 71 yards and completing 5 of 10 passes. He displayed confidence and a precise arm, which are essential elements to lead the Tide's offense. Dylan Lonergan, meanwhile, added 23 yards in his participation, demonstrating skill and potential for growth. Austin Mack, meanwhile, shone by throwing for a touchdown and accumulating 39 yards, leaving a lasting impression and confirming that he is one of the most exciting prospects in this group. This seamless rotation between the three quarterbacks was a clear sign that the coaching staff is preparing for all possibilities. The transition from Milroe will be challenging, but with DeBoer at the helm and such a deep roster, the Crimson Tide will not only adjust, but continue to compete at a high level. However, it's not just the offense that's delivering. The Tide defense, under the leadership of defensive coordinator Kane Womack, has been nothing short of spectacular. Jihad Campbell has been a standout performer, putting in performances that challenge the status quo in every recent game. Against Mercer, he racked up 9 tackles and was a disruptive force on the defensive line. And who can forget his monster performance against LSU, when he recorded 12 tackles? Womack's influence has been clear, transforming Alabama's defense into a cohesive, aggressive, and reliable unit. With the offense finding its feet and the defense playing at an elite level, the playoff dream is more alive than ever for the Crimson Tide. The pieces are falling into place at the right time, and even with Jalen Milroe's imminent departure, there's plenty of reason to be optimistic. Which team would you bet on if he's going to the NFL? Alabama, under DeBoer, is in a moment that serves as a reminder that the path to becoming a recruiting machine like the Nick Saban era is not a simple one, and success does not automatically translate from one generation to the next. This week, the Crimson Tide took a recruiting hit, losing 3 of its top prospects for the 2025 class. The situation, which included the departure of players like running back Anthony Rogers, wide receiver Caleb Cunningham, and linebacker Dawson Merritt, made it clear that as strong as Alabama is on the field, building a recruiting empire similar to Saban's takes time and effort. Rogers' departure was particularly significant, as he was ranked the number 4 running back in the country by ESPN. While he has reopened his recruitment and has yet to decide on his final destination, the loss of a talent of that caliber, especially for a program like Ole Miss, is not something that goes unnoticed. The same goes for Merritt, who opted for Nebraska, and Cunningham, who headed to the SEC, specifically the Rebels. These moves reflect a familiar scenario. When a central figure like Saban leaves a program, it's natural for some committed players to go their own way, seeking a new identity for their college careers. Make no mistake, though, this type of turnaround is not unique to Alabama, but it is a clear sign that DeBoer's team is still a work in progress. What Saban built at Alabama over the course of his career is not something that can be replicated overnight. Saban possessed a kind of brilliance that seemed to seduce even the best talent, leading elite players to see Tuscaloosa as the ideal destination for reaching the pinnacle of their college football careers and, by extension, the NFL. Saban's pitch was simple and unbeatable. Do you want to win? Do you want to play at the highest level? Then come to Alabama. And that's how he managed to win over the game's brightest prospects. DeBoer, as talented and capable as he is, doesn't have that same instant clout. The lack of a major national championship and the dearth of a winning history similar to Saban's are barriers he's still trying to overcome. When a new coach comes to a program like Alabama, especially after the era of a giant like Saban, it's inevitable that comparisons will arise. It's not that DeBoer doesn't have potential or that he hasn't made significant strides, but he still doesn't have the same drawing power that his predecessor had. Despite that, the reality for Alabama, as always, is that the recruiting class is still strong. The loss of 3 recruits is painful, but the program still has 9 of the top 100 prospects in the country coming into the 2025 season. The number of stars that will suit up for the Crimson Tide in the near future still ensures that the team will remain among the most respected in the country. What's clear, though, is that while DeBoer has the materials and the structure to continue that legacy of success, he's still building the reputation necessary to attract and retain elite commitments as consistently as Saban did. There's something deeply human and relatable about the transition process DeBoer is going through. Each recruit loss is a lesson, a reminder that college football is cutthroat and that no matter how brilliant a coach is, things don't happen overnight. DeBoer needs to show these recruits not only that he can win, but that he can lead the Crimson Tide to a new level of success. And to do that, perhaps the greatest trick is precisely what Saban did so well, ensuring that his players believe deeply in his vision and the power of his program, a vision that now, more than ever, DeBoer needs to cultivate. Alabama may no longer be the top pick for some recruits, but it's still a force to be reckoned with. And with time and consistency, it's quite possible that DeBoer could also achieve the kind of dominance that Saban achieved, becoming as compelling a figure himself as the former commander was. The road is clear, and DeBoer's job is certainly not easy, but the foundation is being laid. Let's keep moving forward. Jackson Lloyd, the promising talent from Carmel, California, is having a moment in his athletic journey. From an initially underrated recruit, Lloyd has gone from a 3-star to a coveted 5-star status, a clear reflection of his development and the growing recognition of his abilities. In a highly competitive recruiting field, this rise is a testament to Lloyd's hard work and the opportunities that have come his way, especially with the offer from Alabama, which was a significant turning point in his trajectory. Lloyd, who had played primarily on the West Coast, was attracted to big names such as UCLA, USC, and Cal. However, everything changed when, earlier this year, he received an offer from the Crimson Tide, the first known offer from the class of 2025 for Kalen DeBoer's program. This moment was pivotal, not only for Lloyd, but also for Alabama itself, which has begun to further strengthen its recruiting class, always on the lookout for stars who can become pillars of the team in the future. And with Lloyd's 5-star status in On3's most recent update, it's clear that DeBoer's decision to invest in the young athlete was a wise one. Now, as the number 20 overall prospect and number 5 offensive tackle, Lloyd ranks among the best in the country. He's also the second best player in California, behind only USC's promising quarterback Hussein Longstreet. This top-ranked recognition is not only a reflection of his talent, but also his potential to become a key part of the Crimson Tide's offensive line. His rise in the recruiting ranks is even more impressive when you consider that he's a 3-sport athlete, showing his versatility and ability to excel on multiple fronts, whether it's baseball, basketball, or football. What makes his story even more fascinating is Lloyd's decision to prioritize football over pursuing a career in other sports. He opted to forego both his basketball and baseball seasons to prepare for his future journey in Tuscaloosa, in anticipation of his arrival at Alabama. This shift in focus reflects his commitment to the sport and his determination to get in the best physical shape possible to face the challenges that await him at the Crimson Tide. Not only does Lloyd recognize the importance of physical conditioning for his position, but he also understands that Alabama's strength and conditioning program is one of the best in the country. He knows he's entering a top-notch system that will help him reach his full potential. With this growth-focused mindset and an equally strong offensive line recruiting class in Michael Carroll and Ty Haywood at his side, Lloyd joins a group of players that promises to make Alabama a powerhouse on the offensive front for years to come. The Crimson Tide are undoubtedly assembling one of the best offensive line classes in the country. With talent like Lloyd, Carroll, Haywood, and others, the offensive line unit has the potential to become one of the most dominant in college football. Despite some issues, Lloyd proves that Bama can still have great recruits. What do you think? Comments are important.